welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video we're going to be diving into 5 things that you may not have noticed in Attack on Titan chapter 107. But before I want to get into that, I want to let you guys know that I would have skipped a lot of these things or missed out on a lot of these things if one of my subscribers hadn't have commented on my last video, which was my live reaction of Attack on Titan, which I will link up here. His name's Alex Johnson, and he basically laid down all of the facts for this chapter and really opened my eyes to things that I hadn't noticed before in not only this chapter but other chapters as well. So credit to him for the things that he said. I came up with a few of my own, but definitely the credit belongs to him. I never want to take credit for somebody else's words. So with that, let's get into it. So if we go to Attack on Titan chapter 107, we learn about Mikasa's tattoo, but what you might not have known is that this tattoo was a thing from the very beginning, and he definitely, the author I mean, mentioned it many times. So if we go to chapter 5 of Attack on Titan, which was a long time ago, you actually see Mikasa's mom talking to her about it, and here she says, this brand, sorry my computer's like really, must be passed down from generation to generation in our family. When you have a child, you'll give it to him or her. And that's something that I honestly didn't remember because there's so many chapters with so many information for Attack on Titan that I completely zoned out about it. And in my last video I said I didn't understand why Mikasa compared this woman to her mom, and I mean, she doesn't really look like her mom, and I just feel like if you have a deceased mother, you wouldn't go necessarily comparing other strange women to your mother, but I understand it's because of the Asian descent. Mikasa hasn't necessarily seen any other Asian woman other than herself, so I get it. Also, if we go to volume number 8 of Attack on Titan, right on the cover, we can see right here, he included the her covering up her tattoo. Also in, let's see, volume number 13, it's right here. Right there. He's been including it like little Easter eggs here and there for the longest time, and it's definitely something that I haven't noticed. So let me know if you guys knew about the tattoo and you realized that it was in this many pictures and covers and everything like that. Please let me know because I don't know how I missed that. Anyways, the second thing that I want to move on to is basically how the woman from Hizuru reacts to money, and that should be on page 22. Let me see. Yes, right here. You see how she's like drooling over the money? See, I feel like a lot of her motivations are towards money. I don't doubt any of her sincerity towards Mikasa, but I think her overall plan for helping Paradise is just money. So I feel like this was intentionally added to add some kind of skepticism to this woman's intentions, and for us to feel like maybe this isn't permanent. She could turn against Paradise if she's offered a better option or more money, because honestly nobody reacts to money like this unless they're strictly money hungry and they'll do anything for money, because this is ridiculous. So I feel like that's gonna lead up to something else happening, maybe her double-crossing Paradise for more money, and I want you guys to keep that in mind because that's something I definitely noticed. Another thing is Eren's reaction to Historia having to become the next Beast Titan, which is on page 28, and yes, page 27 and 28. You can see right here how shocked everybody is that he's actually speaking up for Historia, which I was shocked too. I understand that he knows what being a Titan means. He knows that the lifespan is limited. He knows that this is kind of his fault for mentioning Historia and all of this kinds of things, but the fact that he always opens his mouth for Historia and and he's trying to come up with a different way, and ultimately it results to him threatening Hanji over Historia, it kind of makes you think, why is he so protective of Historia? Like, do they have some kind of unseen background that we haven't seen as a reader? I know that that's his friend, but still, it seems as though he's kind of overly protective of her, and that's something else that I noticed in this chapter that I haven't noticed in a while, of him being overly protective of somebody like this. It's usually only Historia. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is Galbi and Falco running away, which should be on page 45. And if you look here in the building and where they're running towards, it seems like they're running towards like uninhabited areas. And I feel like, okay, I feel like there's two possibilities here. Or three actually. I feel like they're gonna escape completely. Nobody's gonna be able to find them, obviously. That's number one. Two, I feel like this is gonna have it's gonna create some problems between Zeke and Levi, because you know that they're out there, just them by themselves. If word reaches Levi and Zeke overhears, it could possibly lead to them fighting over Gabby and Falco, because you know Levi's pretty cold-hearted when it comes to things like this. So he could very well say like, oh, we'll kill him before they leave. I don't know. I love Levi, but he is really cold-hearted, and Zeke could overhear him, and you know, that could result in a fight and the peace being broken between the two. Also, I know that in the other chapters they mentioned all of the Titans being killed. But if you remember when Ymir was a Titan and she hid under the, well, she didn't hide under the dirt, but she lost so much energy because she hasn't fed or something like that. She kind of soaked into the earth until something woke her up. I'm wondering if Gabby and Falco are going to have a real life Titan experience, not Titan shifters, like a real Titan experience, because I feel like Gabby is in need of some background as to what the Paradise people had to endure, if that makes sense. Because also Alex Johnson mentioned that Falco has a different view on the people from Paradise Island because he had both sides of the story. So I feel like Gabby needs to experience both sides of the story firsthand in order for her to understand why Paradise attacked Marley, just because of all the hell they had to go through, if that makes sense. And I think including the brush and showing them running away from any sort of facility is kind of a hint from the author that something is going to happen in the near future. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, obviously, is Historia being pregnant. If I can get to that page, thank you. Okay. I can't remember the percent of viewers that voted on the baby daddy in my last video. I'll link it up here, and I'll post the percentage once I'm editing. But I'm pretty sure a lot of them said that they don't know who it is. But I wanted to point out, who is this guy? You know, I'm pretty sure we haven't met this character, but it kind of makes me wonder because she looks depressed. She looks dead. She looks uncomfortable. I know pregnancy must be hitting her like a mother. Fuck, you know, but she looks bad. She doesn't look like normal Historia. She looks like she wants to die. So I'm wondering if if they forced her to have a kid, or she's just, I don't know. I feel like this is going to be an important factor to upcoming chapters and why she looks this way. You know, her eyes, her overall look just looks very distressed. But those are just a couple things that I wanted to point out about a chapter 107 of Attack on Titan. They're little things here and there that I think the author really wants us to pay attention to. That's why he zooms into them, why he shows a lot of expression, and I can appreciate that. A lot of you guys might be thinking like, yeah, that's common sense, whatever, but it really goes in depth if you really think about it. And I did not know about all these other chapters showing her tattoo and stuff like that, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. And that's basically all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell on the bottom if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!